radical idea. All of these conditions were imposed on companies that received funding from the CARES Act and passed the Senate by a 96-0 vote.
Here is the breaking news from the Biden administration. The lawmakers from the Senate are meeting to discuss a new action plan just to tackle the U.S. debt ceiling. Democrats have already proposed sending at least one more relief check to $1,000. So, millions of people in South Carolina are expected to receive a one-time income tax rebate of up to $700. Payments started going out via printed debit card and paper check and direct deposits as well, all through the start of November. However, it will continue through the end of the year and into next year, 2023. But now, folks, South Carolina is hardly the only state giving taxpayers a reason to rush to the mailbox. Massachusetts began refunding $3 billion in surplus tax revenue to residents this month. Illinois is also doing the same, issuing $50 and $100 of income tax rebates. Income tax refund checks of up to $800 started going out to South Carolina taxpayers back in November, and any resident who paid taxes will receive a rebate, with the amount increasing based on their tax liability, up to an $800 cap per filing. It's a full refund for those who paid $800 or less, which includes 33% of taxpayers. The rebates are being issued per person, and regardless of whether you filed individually or jointly, those who do not pay income taxes, which is around 45% of South Carolina residents, will not receive a check. The main taxpayers as well, who have filed their 2021 state tax returns and have an adjusted gross income of less than $100 grand, were eligible for an $850 direct check this year as well. Couples filing jointly received a single payment of $1,700, which is a ton of money. New Mexico is also being issued a rebate to all taxpayers. The payments are just broken into parts. The first sent out in June, the second in August, and now the third payment coming right now this month. The state also issued $250 in rebates in July to taxpayers who filed individually. Married couples filing jointly with incomes received $500, and both friends. The lawmakers in both the House and Representatives, and as well as the Senate, are concerned about how the inflation is affecting millions of Americans. It has led to an increase in stimulus proposals, and now Chuck Schumer told reporters that the Senate will need to address the nation's debt ceiling in coming weeks. Schumer vowed to tackle it and other major issues in a productive session before the current Congress ends. At a news conference, Schumer said the debt ceiling is of course something we have to deal with, and it's something that we will look at over the next few weeks. Democratic leaders in the Senate will move forward with this week, and now, today, a senior advisor to President Biden said the administration is going to win the legal battle over the Student Debt Administration lawsuit. They have said that the Biden administration's student loan forgiveness program is actually constitutional. So now, during an appearance on CBS News, sources note that millions of young voters expect the Democrats to win 2024. But now, after the administration said this, they added that, make no mistake about it, President Biden made a commitment to people in America. It's not just about young people, it's also about people of every age. We will prevail in the court, and at the point we will swiftly move to make sure that we get over 26 million people the money they need. And the lawsuit against Biden administration was filed last month. And now, on behalf of one borrower who is ineligible for the relief program and another who is not eligible for the full $20,000, Biden's administration and the student debt relief program would include $10,000 in loan forgiveness just for borrowers who make less than $125 grand annually, and up to $20,000 for Pell Grant recipients. We have a new fourth stimulus check that's eligible for you to get. The lawmakers expect to send out 100,000 payments this year. Some Americans have already until the end of this year to apply to receive the money. And also, here is an update on the fourth stimulus check. Eligible Americans in Delaware
living increase for their Social Security starting next year, but we're learning from experts that may not be a good thing. Other benefits based on income levels and in some instances lead to penalties if you don't withhold enough money.
Or COLA is based off of the rate of inflation. It's at a 40-year high.
A couple of clients who I have worked with and they are struggling to pay their rent.
Everyone, regardless of where a person lives or how much they have in savings. It will go to people automatically.
We got a ton of news about the fourth stimulus check, Social Security benefits, SI and SDI. Here's what I want you guys to know about the fourth stimulus payment. It's very, very important. There are several ways that you may be able to receive additional stimulus cash from the federal government. Lawmakers have already announced new plans that have been put forward in Congress. It just comes as a way to aim and provide more relief to the people in need. Homeowners have already experienced income loss in the course of the crisis. While some may have recovered from the events of the past 2 years, homeowners might still be struggling to keep up with their housing payments, especially in light of recent inflation. So, early on in the crisis, homeowners were given the option to pause on their mortgage payments via a process known as forbearance, but that option expired after 18 months. It means that mortgage borrowers took advantage of it early may have exhausted that relief months ago. The good news, though, is that there is still relief available, and for people who are struggling with household expenses, don't worry because President Biden got your back. Homeowners could be eligible for as much as $80,000 in aid. While this is certain, projections like mortgage forbearance have been largely run out there's still some aid available for property owners thanks to the Homeowner Assistance Fund, and the fund is at a good use of $10 billion available to pay to homeowners who are just behind the mortgage and other housing-related expenses. The fund has a good $10 billion available to pay to homeowners who are behind the mortgages and other housing-related expenses. As was the case with rental assistance funds, money from the Homeowner Assistance Fund will be given out at the state level, but eligible recipients will be in line for anywhere from $15,000 to $80,000. The money can cover expenses including mortgage payments, property tax, and utilities. To qualify for the aid under the program, homeowners have just got to show that they experienced a financial hardship related to the crisis. They'll need to have a household income that's below 150% of the area's median income. Even if you didn't even file a 2021 federal income tax return, don't worry about it because President Biden also did this. He said that in order to be able to claim extra stimulus cash mid-October, the IRS sent letters to more than 9 million individuals and families who qualified for this check. Many in this group may be eligible to claim the child tax credit, the earned income tax credit, or just an increase in your Social Security benefits. If you missed out on last year's stimulus payment, well, it's more commonly known as a stimulus check. The maximum credit you'll get is $1,400. Joe Biden's student loan relief program also provided up to $10,000 in canceled student loan debt. That's between $125,000 if your annual income is below that amount. So, while most federal student loan borrowers wait for the various legal case to play out, some borrowers are already getting their refunds. Checks are being sent to the people who need it the most and who paid down their student loans after the crisis pause took effect in March. Despite the pause, an estimated 8.8 million people made at least one payment between March 2020 and December 2021. No additional action is needed in order to claim the stimulus cash because you'll be getting it in the
paid sick leave, not just for rail workers, but for every worker in America. That's a goal I had in the beginning, and I'm coming back at it. So, but good morning. The bill I'm about to sign ends a difficult rail dispute and helps our nation avoid what, without a doubt, would have been an economic catastrophe at a very bad time in the calendar. Our nation's rail system is literally the backbone of our supply chain, as you all well know, and so much of what we rely on